Oh, hey guys, it is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. It is great to be with you on the Inspirations for Your Life show. Thanks so much for joining me. It is March 23rd, 2026. This is Monday. Yes, guys, it's great to be with all of you here. Thanks so much for joining me. If it's your very first time, of course, welcome and thank you. If you've been here before, well, welcome back and thank you for joining me again. Before we kick off the show, I just had lunch recently, but if you guys want lunch, feel free to go grab yourself something, a sandwich, fruit, soda, something hot, something cold, healthy or not. That is totally up to you guys, so feel free to do that. Come on back. And don't forget to check out believemeachieve.com, of course, for more of my amazing, inspiring creations, which you can do, guys, 24 hours a day. That is after the show is over. All right, guys. So let's get into this, shall we? All right. But check out believemeachieve.com a little bit later, okay? So welcome to the show, everyone. I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. In case you guys did not know that, yes, I am. I'm an engineer, marketing specialist, video producer, podcast host, coach, keynote speaker, graduate student, and a passionate lifelong learner. And also, yes, I will pretty soon be a published author. That's coming. Dedication of the book is on the 17th or 18th of April. Then right after that, the book goes into the ability for you to get to order it, and it won't ship until May 1st. And then my book tour kicks off in the middle of May. So great to be with you here. This is the Inspirations for Your Life show. We are on the air, guys, it's our fifth season. We're on the air in our fifth year. We haven't completed our fifth year. We're 4 years and almost 3 months. That's what S5 means. We're in the fifth season. Today's master topic, I should say, for the week is to see it right, live it strong. That is the master for the whole week. Have you ever felt like you're doing everything right, but your life still isn't moving the way you want? I'm sure we've all felt that way once before. Most people aren't broken. They're just looking at their life from the wrong angle, the wrong perspective. When you change how you see your life, you change how you live your life. And I think that's a very important thing. As I said, understanding this week's master topic is important. And we're diving into a powerful truth right now. When you see what others miss, you can change everything. And so that's important. See what others miss and change everything. And if you're catching other things, you can do that later. You're not stuck, guys. You're just not seeing it yet. And that's okay. So it is Monday, and our granular for today is Choose with Strength, Series 5, Show 13, Episode number 3. I'm going to talk about the choices you make, the power behind them, and how seeing them clearly can transform your life faster than you ever imagined. So grab a pen, grab a notebook, or just lean back and enjoy, because the end of this episode, you'll never look at the decisions you've made before the same way again. And so I'm going to reveal 30 points for you that I think will be very priceless. Your life is built on choices. Every day, you're casting tiny votes for the person you're becoming. Whether you realize it or not, strong choices create strong lives. Weak decisions keep you comfortable, but strong ones make you unstoppable. Decide with purpose. When you know your why, confusion magically fades, and your next move becomes very obvious. Indecision, guys, wastes time. Every moment you hesitate, someone else is acting on the opportunity you just let slip through your fingers. Choose, ladies and gentlemen, what matters. Most people chase what's urgent. Okay. Leaders choose what's important and let the noise fade away. Confidence comes, guys, from choosing you, because you don't wait for confidence to decide. You decide, and confidence shows up as a reward. So you don't wait to get confidence. I want to share this from a point that's been around for a long time. You might have heard, strike while the iron is hot. But there's a better phrase, which is strike to get the iron hot, right? We don't wait for the iron to get hot. We strike it and get it hot ourselves. Don't wait for the boat to come into you, right? We always say, when the wait for our boat to come in, don't wait. Swim out to our boat. Every choice, guys, shapes identity. The more you choose like the person you want to be, the faster you become them. And that's key, guys. Choose long term. When you trade short term comfort for long term growth, your future self will thank you very loudly. That's right, guys. Small choices matter. The tiny decisions you repeat daily eventually shout louder than any single big decision you ever could make. Strong decisions build momentum. Once you make one powerful choice, the next one gets easier because you're already in motion, guys. You're already in motion. Choose with clarity. If you can't see your values clearly, every option looks good and you end up stuck in the middle of nowhere. Action, guys, follows decision. Nothing truly moves until you finally say, this is it. I'm doing this now. Own your choices today. When you stop blaming others, you regain the power to rewrite your story. Choose based on values. When your decisions match, your core values, well, get you to feel aligned instead of conflicted. Decide and move, guys. Overthinking drains energy from us. Decisive action creates energy and real progress. Strong choices reduce our level of regret. You might still feel fear, but you won't feel that painful or discomfort feeling of, what if I had tried? Choose growth over comfort, and it keeps you the same. Growth stretches you in who you're meant to be. I think a lot of people are scared to choose growth because growth is lonely. We don't get success the first time. We get frustration. We get a feeling that's a little uneasy. But I said to you guys before that success starts when we become uncomfortable. I didn't say painful. I said uncomfortable. Decisions, guys, define direction. The decisions you've made in the past are setting your GPS right now. And the ones that you make today are changing your course as we move forward. Your destiny isn't random, guys. It's carved by the repeated direction of your decisions. So you're showing up every day, but showing up is not enough. It's being intentional with your thoughts and putting those into actions. Choose wisely daily, guys. This is key. Consistency beats intensity. Intensity is good, but consistency is the key. Keep doing it a little bit each day. The choices you repeat beat the effort you rarely show. And I think sometimes people, again, want that short-term gratification because it's easier, because it's quicker, but it's not necessarily the right thing to do because you're going to miss the potential larger outcome. Confidence, guys, grows through the decisions we foster. Each time you choose despite the fear. What is fear, guys? False evidence appearing real. You train your mind to trust your move more each day. Choose, guys, what builds you, and if it doesn't grow your character, your health, your relationships, or your purpose, question it hard before you continue with it. Because a lot of people do something because someone else has said to do it, but they don't necessarily do it because it's giving them results or because it's something they wanted to do. They just do anything. Direction, ladies and gentlemen, comes from the choices we make. Clarity doesn't appear first. It emerges as you make committed, aligned decisions. That's the key, guys. Decide faster. Improve faster. The quicker you move from thinking about it to actually doing it, the faster life can teach you. So again, I know this isn't going to be the most comfortable thing to do for you. And so if we get comfort out of our mind and say, okay, it's not going to be comfortable. It's not going to be painful, but it's not going to be comfortable. And we're going to have to live with it and learn to be a little bit discomforted. until it feels comfortable. And then we push ourselves a little more. We always want to keep pushing ourselves, like with weights or any kind of motivation. Choose discipline. Discipline is choosing what you want most over what you want right now. Your discipline is what gets you to keep going, right? Decisions create results, guys. Wishes create fantasies. I'm not saying you can't have wishes, but you have to take the wishes and put them into decisions and put them in action. Decisions create the outcomes you can actually measure. So decisions get us to move in a certain direction, to take an action, not to say, well, gee, that's a nice bird. That's a nice lake. I wonder what it'd be like to fish there. But then you just don't get a fishing pole and you're just sitting like, maybe a fish will just pop out of the water. Not likely. So choose forward movement, guys. Even a small step forward beats staying in the same spot and calling it. Being careful, guys, is the key here. Stand by your choices. Once you decide, commit fully so that the world sees how serious you are before it sees your success. A lot of people may poke fun of you because you're doing all these things day in and day out, but no one's seeing the results. And I've said this before. No one wants to even board your train or your plane when it's stopped at a station. Think of it like a social group, right? Maybe you have nobody attending your events. And nobody comes because it hasn't taken off. But once you start getting people to come, then other people are like, oh, wait a minute. I want to get like they want to dive in real quick. But they do this when the plane is like, off the runway or the train is going 100 miles an hour. They will risk their lives to get on it because they see it as something valuable. So the key to these things is you've got to position something as valuable even before it is valuable. That's a real key for today. Choose strength, guys, over ease. Easy choices feel good now, but strong choices are a little discomforting, but they feel right over a lifetime. You won't get the feeling that this is the right choice today, but it will slowly become apparent that you decided to do long-term gratification. Your future is chosen. The life you'll be living 5 years from now is being drafted by today's decisions. I said, what we have done in the past shapes today. What we're doing today shapes our future. Choose well, ladies and gentlemen, every time. You may not control every circumstance, which is okay, but you always control the quality of your next choice. And when you understand quality over quantity, you can have exponential results because you're not chasing everything around. You're being selective. And I think a lot of people, they don't realize what choosing is about. Choosing is not discriminating. Choosing is making sure that you don't waste or burn out your energy. Because let's face it, if I said to you have X hours a day, but suddenly you squander them on something that has no potential of growth every day. And then at the end of the week or the month, you're like, I have nothing to show for myself. But if you're selective with what you choose to do and the actions that you take, your life will have a very different outcome, right? Difference happens by our perspective. Our perspectives that we, let's say, ascertain or we focus on, they become our reality. Now, our reality happens because of perspectives. When we change our perspectives, reality, I like to say, pivots. It doesn't do a complete erase overnight or flip overnight. It pivots slowly. And as we pivot slowly, we realize something, that we're getting closer to our goal, closer to our aspirations. When I say choose with strength, I'm not saying choose the strongest thing like in weights. I'm saying choose the thing or situation that is going to give you the most strength, is going to be the greatest asset for you. I think a lot of people choose quickly. Why? Because they're told, you've got to blank or get off the pot. And I get that, believe me. But there is a time when we have to realize that choosing comes down to one thing, and that is our perceptions. Our perceptions, ladies and gentlemen, they create our reality. Okay? And when we think about our perceptions, and we think about where we are in life, and we think about where we're going, it gets overwhelming sometimes. But if we were to say, look, I'm not going to make 100 choices today, but I am going to choose one or two things. I'm going to make these two choices. Maybe you're working on a branding for your company. You say, look, today I'm not going to do the entire website, but I'm going to choose the branding. I'm going to choose what the tagline should be. I'm going to choose what my market should be. Okay? You don't have to go choose the message to your target. Everything becomes a separate step. So, for example, colors attract certain audiences. Okay, they mean certain things. What else attracts? The messaging. Not only the messaging, ladies and gentlemen, whether we're talking about social media, etc., also the music we choose. Does the music lean us more toward an adult vibe? Does it lead us more toward education? Does it lead us to more of something being whimsical? What does it do for us? What does it choose for us? And as we start to appreciate these qualities and attributes and characteristics, we learn that just like it's influencing us, it's influencing other people. And I think that's really the big challenge here, guys. Choose. One choice I know we're going to be making is whether we're going to choose to stay with this platform or leave them, because again, today we have lost Instagram from the feed, I see. And I put a ticket in the other day and they gave me a song and a dance, and they really can't help me. So don't be surprised if we leave one stream live and go somewhere else. They have support you click on and they're there, but they really don't help you. The support is like, I don't know. It's more like barely touching your hand is probably the best way to say that. So we think about strength, right? Strength of our mind, strength of our body. When we squeeze our hand, we have a very strong grip, right? When we choose something like for a market, let's say we were trying to market, I don't know, we were trying to market this new drink, okay? This new drink that only has 10 calories, is all natural, is sweet from the fruit, but only has 10 calories. And it's available in 3 different flavors. Let's say it's available in orange, grape, and lime. So first thing we would look at is, well, who's going to want this? We also discovered that this drink has the ability to actually boost the electrolytes in your body. So maybe this would be good for athletes. Maybe it'd be good for people that are calorie conscious. And this drink, I've been told, I'm just making this up, tastes better than soda, is better for you. And so now we know that we can target it to people that work out. We could target to other people that would normally have soda. Where could we put this drink? We could put this in bars. We could put it in schools, right? As long as it meets the FDA approval and all that. And so now we kind of know where it should go. The question is, what should the brand be like? And I want to say the brand has to be similar but different in the marketing we do for each venue. So in a school, we might want to share the fact, and athletes, that, it's going to basically pour the electrolytes back in your body without compromising the sugar. That would be a good marketing message, right? Maybe a tactic might be that we do a free roadshow. We're giving out little mini cans of this, or we let people taste it out of a cup if it's in a plastic bottle, whatever. Maybe because we want to have it in a cup. We don't want it as a can. We want it to appear, because it's not carbonated. So we actually could put it into a little tiny little glass or little plastic thing. So now we spent some time on that. So if we're marketing it to, let's say, athletes, kids in school, could be high school, could be college, will have an upbeat type of music to it. Something similar like, the Great Adventure, a song that they would play, and the guy would get on the bus and try to get everybody on, right? Has to be very moving, very energetic, because that's what the drink is about. The drink is about restoring your vitality, your energy, right? We're saying that just maybe 8 ounces of this, which is only, let's say, 10 calories for 8 ounces, pretty amazing, all natural and available in orange, grape, and lime. That could be the new go-to. Then how do we package it? Do we package it so that, it's like a 6-pack or an 8-pack? So it could be very similar to the way soda is done, but instead of putting it in a can, maybe we put it in bottles and we have it as a 6-pack or an 8-pack. The other thing we can do is also approach gyms, because gyms are going to be very concerned with this. And we can say, hey, for each bottle that they sell, we might be able to do a deal there where they can buy it wholesale and they can still make some money. So they're still charging what it costs in the store. So it's not going to appear overly priced, because that's what happens with a lot of gyms, right? They have something there, but it's usually 2 or 3 times more because they go buy it in a store and then they have to mark it up, because the manufacturer or the producer of the product doesn't really understand the market. And they're like, well, if you want to sell our product, got to mark it up. But then people see that price double or triple, like, wait a minute. How come I can get it at this store for this price? That's sending a wrong message. And then when we get people to enjoy it and to smile and be on camera with it, well, that's a whole other thing. And now suddenly I have a glass, you have a glass, and we could do a whole video campaign like, it's a great pick-me-up after school, right? It's a great pick-me-up between those challenging classes. It's a great way to start your day instead of orange juice, right? So these are the kinds of things we talk about. We talk about strength, okay? We choose basically our strength. And choosing our strength is not something I'm going to tell you that's hard, but choosing strength is definitely important to be successful. So we choose with strength. Strength doesn't have to mean something that is strong, but it has to be strong in a sense that it has a good vibe, okay? And so that's why it can be marketed to gyms. It could be marketed to different fitness centers. It could be marketed to the schools. They could put a juice machine in there. Or, again, we don't know what we're going to call the product. Maybe we're going to call it, we might call it something like, I don't know, I'm just brainstorming. So it's orange, grape, and lime. Orange, grape, and lime, OGL, or something like the juice that doesn't sting you with calories, something like that. So that could be the brand, right? The juice that will pour back your vitality. What do we call the brand? What do we call it? I'm thinking something like, so we have orange, we have grape, we have lemon, orange, grape, and lemon. So the OGL3, or maybe something else, because they're not always, they're in separate containers. So maybe something like the Smart Juice, right? That would catch people's attention, and people would try it. And if it worked, it would stick, and then people would actually buy it over time again. The hardest thing, guys, is creating the brand and building trust, right? But if we start with 1 or 2 people, they like it, they tell their friends, more people tell their friends, and before you know it, this becomes something very, very popular because of not only the taste, but because of the nutritional value and the fact that it only has 20 calories, 10 or 20 calories. That's a pretty big selling point right there. But again, choosing which strength is something people don't know enough to do, because they're always going to choose on impulse, because that's how the media, that's how advertising, that's how things have been set up. Choose quick. It doesn't come down to, well, let me compare the labels. How many people do you know that compare the labels on juice or any product? I can name maybe 2 people. That's not a lot. So if we actually took the time to look at the labels, then those commercials that the advertisers put at us would actually not hold water anymore. Because, and that could be another advertising campaign. Our juice, our juice holds its nutrition, not like the other juices out there claim to give you vitality and electrolytes, but they also pour in 160 calories or 50 things of sugar or whatever, right? So you could do it in a very interesting way. And hopefully that would get people to wake up. That is my hope, right? So we need to make sure, ladies and gentlemen, that we are choosing well and changing your life fast. That is the whole goal, ladies and gentlemen, to choose well and change your life fast. Every choice you make is either building or breaking you. Yeah, that's the truth. A lot of people don't want to think about that because they're like, oh, this is just one time. But one time is never one time. One time becomes a second time, a third time, a fourth time, a fifth time, a sixth time. And before you know it, you've got this autonomous habit. You keep reaching for soda. You keep reaching for this. You keep doing this. You keep doing that. Same thing happens with smoking. You keep getting on this habit, and it becomes this craving that you can't live without. So you reach for it, and it becomes a part of you. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to ask you a question. If today's episode opened your eyes even a little bit to how powerful your choices really are, don't just listen and move on. Choose to intentionally act. Ask yourself this question. What is one strong decision I can make today that my future self would be proud of? Then go do it. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, you're not stuck. You may just need to see your situation from a different angle, a different perspective. When you see it right, you truly can live it out strong. Again, if you enjoyed this and want more inspirational content and strategies and shows just like this, and make sure you watch or listen to all my other amazing content by visiting BelieveMeAchieve.com. Thanks so much, and have yourself a great rest of your day or evening.